Well, greetings, people of the internet. Unky Joe here, Unky Joe's Playhouse. Today, we're going to play with my favorite firewall router in the whole wide world. I'm speaking, of course, about PFSense. Yes, PFSense. I don't care what anybody else says. I know I've tried a plethora of routers and firewalls in my time here at Unky Joe's Playhouse over the last 4 or 5 years. I've been doing this, everything from the Edge router to Synology to, oh, you name it. I have tried it. And I keep coming back to PFSense, and I'm going to tell you why, because PFSense just works. It works for me. It works for my clients. It has so much flexibility, so many features of PFSense that I just don't have time to go over all of them right now. But what today's video is about is I've entered a new paradigm, if you will. All of my clients now have gigabit internet, and that requires some special consideration when you're setting up a router firewall. It has to be able to support those higher speeds onto the internet. So as a part and parcel of that, I went ahead and increased my speed from 100 megabit fiber to gigabit fiber with the flip of a switch, thanks to my wonderful folks that provide my internet at my electric company here. And then I proceeded to testing it with all manner of firewalls and routers that I have laying around, and they all worked well with it, including PFSense. So I went out to a client site that was recently updated here to gigabit fiber, and a new Nokia, I think it's the GSW320/500-500, and I had nothing but trouble getting it to work at gigabit speeds. It would work fine with this Edge router at gigabit speed for a while, and then I had trouble with this. So then I tried this little device that I had been testing here at my office. Oh, this thing is heavy. Right there, you've seen it in my video. And then as a last resort, I took my my Odyssey single board computer out there, and to no avail, could not get gigabit speed. So it turned out to be the modem that's out there. I've just got to get AT&T out there to take a look, see what's going on. But now I have my Odyssey single board computer, my normal firewall and gateway back, and I want to get that set up back on my network. And I wanted to show you one of the reasons I really like PFSense is the ease of which I can rejigger a PFSense firewall. So I'm going to show you how I set it up initially here, how easy it is to install. Then I'm going to go put it back on my network, and we're going to restore a backup that I made. Because what I'm going to do is I put this one in to test it here locally. And so I did a backup configuration from this, and I'm going to restore it to my Odyssey single board computer. So this is the computer I'm talking about. This is the Odyssey X86J4105 from Seed Studios. No, they did not pay me for this video. I got this unit back in January, February, March, April, May of 2020. In fact, I had to wait a few weeks because they were back ordered, and it got sent to me. And then I also went ahead and got the handy dandy computer case made by Odyssey as well. Same people that make Odyssey. I had to wait a couple extra weeks on this and put it all together, and you're about to see it. And so let's go to that video right now. I'll show you how easy it is to get it set up and to restore a configuration. And that'll show you one of the main reasons I use PFSense. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about it a little bit more. So I've got LAN and WAN marked. I like my first connection to be LAN and my second one to be WAN. It's got DC in, HDMI out, a couple of USB ports on the front, and then on the back it has got SD card, USB 3, USB-C 3, and an aux connector for, I assume that's for audio out. So, and the beauty of this case is, you know, it's got little rubber feet on it here and here. So you can turn this on its side, you can lay it flat on here. As you can see, you get plenty of airflow through the bottom. And one of the really neat features is this little button right here. If you press that, it'll pop up your lucite lid. So you can take that off and get a good look at the insides. So I've already got a 256 gig NVMe. I could have gotten away with 120 gig, but I went with a larger one. It has the GPIO ports out, so you can use this like you would a Raspberry Pi, and it also has the other one, which is the name of that function escapes me. Came with a little battery. It also has a place for you to put a cellular module or another SATA SSD. It's up to you. It also has regular SATA port right there, if you can see it. It's right down here. It's a regular SATA connector. So, you know, this board really has a lot of flexibility. It's a shame. It's kind of a shame to see it only go into PFSense, but by the same token, I wanted a very powerful PFSense box that would be able to do AES encryption as well. That's why I went with this unit. Alright, so I've plugged it in, and I thought I had switched the ports on it, but I guess I didn't, so we'll fix that here in a minute. I'm just going to go through the wizard here. I'm just going to accept the defaults because we're going to be overriding this anyway. I am going to choose the correct time zone, and yeah, click on next, click on next, and we'll enter a new password, and then we'll switch the interfaces here while I got you live. Next, and then we're going to reload. So we'll let it reboot. This won't take too terribly long. It's done. Go ahead and finish. Alright, so the first thing I want to do, it just took about a minute to come up to this interface. So I'm going to go up to interfaces and assignments. And I'm going to assign the LAN. I need to flip these. I want to put that on 0 and this one on 1. And then let me save it. And we're probably going to lose our connectivity here. Let me go into the server room. Hang on just a second. And there we go. So the other thing you want to do is make sure you have the updates done. Now in my case, I can't do that. I am on the current release of PFSense. But I can't do the updates until after I do the restore. So what I want to do now is I want to go up to diagnostics and do a backup and restore. And this time I'm going to choose the file, and I'm going to choose my latest backup, which is at 1:27 p.m. Open it and then restore it. It's going to give me some warnings. Are you sure you want to restore it? I'm going to tell it okay. Alright, so now it's rebooted. I'm going to go ahead and log back on, and now hopefully I will have my password back in there and all my settings will be back. One can only hope. And there we go. So I'm going to get a warning now on my gateway now that I've logged back on because I don't have my internet connection plugged in. So I'm going to go into the server room. I'm going to go plug in my fiber connection and we'll see what changes. Alright, so I plugged it back in and you should see some activity now on the fiber side, and we'll give the daemon a few seconds to come up. I'm going to click on start. And we're going to accept, so it looks like it's online, and close, and there you go. We've got our internet back up, and I should be able to go out to, let's go out to fast and see what kind of speed we get. There we go. So my internet is back online. Well, that was simple, wasn't it? So there you go. Trivial to back it up and put it back online. Now the next thing I'm going to do is there's a package that I use and I just love it. It's called NTOPNG, And it basically gives you very good monitoring capabilities for all your network and internet connections. It can really give you a good breakdown of where computers in your network are going out to the internet and those that are coming in, etc. So what I want to do is come up here to System and go to Package Manager, and I'm going to go over to Available Packages, and I'm going to start typing in NTOP. I'm just going to type in NTOPNG and do a search, and here it is here. So you can see it's a network probe that shows network usage, blah, blah, blah. I'll let you read it. I'm going to go ahead and install it. I'm going to confirm. And then there is some minor configuration we'll do after it's installed. Now, folks, you've seen me try many a router and firewall on my channel, and PFSense is my final choice for firewall and router. It just I'm familiar with it now. It works really well. I'm sure it has its problems. I haven't encountered any yet. It's stable, and I'm just very happy using it here. It gives me everything I need and that my clients need. So if you see this success, it means you've been successful. So I'm going to come back here to the PFSense, to the main menu, and then I'm going to come over here to Diagnostics, and I'm going to go to NTOPNG Settings. Now the first thing you need to do is assign it a password, and click that to enable NTOPNG. I've already done that. The other thing I did was I highlighted the interfaces I wanted to monitor, and I do that just by Control-click on each interface. I'm going to do all of them, and then save it, and then NTOPNG will load. One of these days I'll do a deep dive video on NTOPNG, but it's a great way if you've got people with intermittent connectivity issues to monitor that. So I'm going to come back here to PFSense, and you'll see now that NTOPNG is running. So I'm going to come here to Diagnostics now. This time I'm going to right click on NTOPNG and open it in a new tab. And then I'm going to go ahead and log in with the password I gave it and the username of admin. Now the first thing I like to do is turn on dark mode, and then I can come down here to hosts, and let's just go to networks, and I'll go to my 5 subnet, and then you'll see all of my machines out there that are connecting to the internet, and I have to come back later and do some configuration information. But yeah, that'll just give you an idea of where your computers are going on the internet, what kind of connectivity you have. So as you can see, PFSense is hardly breaking a sweat here. The temperature is good. State tables are good. CPU usage is about 17%. Memory usage is about 11%. Like I said, it's not breaking a sweat. Of course, I'm not doing a lot through it right now, but yeah, I think you will find NTOPNG is indispensable, and that's how easy it is to install it. If anything, that video just showed you one of the main reasons I use PFSense, the ease of use of it. A few years ago, it didn't used to be that way. It was kind of, you had to have like a PhD in routing and firewalls to figure out how to set that thing up. But I followed Tom Lawrence over at Lawrence Systems. If you haven't checked him out, check out his channel. That guy is a wealth of knowledge. And I followed his instructions, and you know, once you get a taste of how the router needs to be set up or is set up, then you can go on to bigger and better things. Like I was able to load NTOPNG on there to get statistics on it, and there's a lot of other packages that PFSense you can load on there. Yeah, it's a dead simple, well, not dead simple, it's dead simple once you figure out a few basic tasks, just like anything else, to make that your daily driver. And I just, you know, I love it. In fact, if anything, when I initially got this Odyssey, x86J4105. That just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? It came with Windows 10 on it, and it runs Windows 10 just fine. Now, I've put a 256 gig SSD drive in there, NVMe drive. It's way overkill for PFSense, but my thought was to collect really large log files if I needed to, but I may be rethinking that. And then you saw the seed case, the computer case. So all told, I've got nearly $270 into this unit. I think this was 50 or 40, and this was, the computer itself was 220 or 230, so pretty close to 270 I've got into it. And that's with 4 gig of RAM, including the NVMe drive I bought for it a while back. But it just works, and it works really well. Now, that brings me back to this little unit here. Now, this thing is heavy. Don't let its size fool you. This thing weighs probably 2 pounds, which to me is heavy. And I showed you earlier some of the little foibles of it. You know, it's a Chinese-made product. I don't even know what board is in it. I'm going to open it up and find out. But the thing that appealed to me is it had 4 ports on it. So if you have redundant internet connections, this would make it real handy for failover using PFSense. PFSense does run on this. I ran PFSense on this box for nearly a month here in my rack, and it worked without flaw. It does get warm, but that's a good thing because it means this heat sink is doing its job. Now, I have been warned by people that this has got the same series processor in there that the Synology NAS units had, where they had the chips lifting off of the boards on those Synology NASs. So, but all the reviews on this were positive, and you won't know until you run this thing long term. So I'm gonna install this at a customer site here, probably in the next week or two, and I'll take you with me when I do that, and then we'll see long term how this stands up. I'll make sure I have a backup unit. So does that mean I have no use for something like this, the EdgeRouter X, or how about the TP-Link router, the TL605 that I reviewed, or how about Ubiquiti? Well, I don't have any use for Ubiquiti because I can't do multiple external IPs on it, but that's a whole other story for a different video. No, it doesn't. It's the right equipment for the right job. So this would have worked well, and they don't make it anymore. This is the EdgeRouter Lite. I don't believe they make it anymore. And it'll work. I just don't like the interface on it. I'm not as well versed in programming this as I am PFSense. So that's why I go with PFSense. The Synology router gateway is really, the AC series is really nice, but they don't have multiple external IPs. And I know that's a bit of a niche thing to have with clients, but I just find it easier to subdivide my clients' internal connections onto separate IPs. Just makes it a little easier to configure, but you don't have to have multiple IPs. There are ways around it. So, but yeah, it works good. The throughput on these things is phenomenal. You saw my test with fast, so I'm not seeing any speed drops or anything like that. So there you go, people of the internet. We hope you found the video entertaining and informative as always. Please give us a thumbs up down below if you liked the video. Leave your comments down in the comments section. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and click that little notification bell to be notified of new videos when they come out. Donate if you're so inclined, PayPal, Patreon, the YouTube join function, and now there's a new function under YouTube where you can actually tip me, give me a super chat, something of that sort, while you're watching this video, much like you can in our live streams. Brings me to another subject. Our live streams, we've taken them up a notch. We hired a guy to help us make it look nice and have the chat appear on the screen while we're doing our live streams, etc. Now, for those of you that don't use PayPal and don't use Patreon, that's fine. If you do donate to the channel, your name will appear in the end credits at the end of every video. But we are talking with the people at Subscribestar about getting a way to support our channel over there as well. Don't forget, you can also follow us over on Odyssey if you're not a big fan of YouTube. All of our videos get mirrored on Odyssey, and we're going to be coming to Rumble very soon, and also possibly going to Twitch for our live stream. We're just kind of taking the 150-foot view of YouTube right now, so keep that in mind. But please don't forget to come back and see us. Tell people you know about us, and don't forget, we'll see all of you on the other side.